Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please answer by saying I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
start by giving your name and address, Deanna. Thank you.
Florida 34771. May I begin?
Yes, ma'am. Floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, first of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak, and I also like to thank you for your service to the residents of Osceola County. Secondly, forgive me if I speak too fast. I'll try to slow it down and not take too long, but I was born and raised at 595 Wooded Drive, Narcoossee, and there was garbage and debris of all kinds being hauled by the truckloads and buried into the dump behind our home. There are several other people in attendance tonight that can confirm this fact. We had to endure living by this dreadful dump for years. I'm also certain that some city and or county official knew what was being done to our small black community and continued to allow it to happen back then for years. Of all the undeveloped land in Narcoossee as well as in Osceola County, they literally chose our backyards, never mind you, in the center of our black community for this dump site. Mr. Elkins and his company, Real Estate Resilient LLC, think that the commissioners are willing to put all of the residents in this community as well as the surrounding areas in harm's way once again, and to get this area rezoned before the results of any and all testing is completed. I'm certain building on this site will cause additional problems for the residents in this community. This dump should be excavated and cleaned up. Some residents think that it should be a park. Some agree to single-family tract homes. There was a major flood or two, I believe, around the 80s or 90s that came into this community's backyards. This former dump could not collect all of this water, and it did not seep into the soil, the dump soil, but encroached into and onto the surrounding residents' properties, invading our lives with insects, poisonous snakes, etc., and an atrocious smell that we endured for months. If this area is to be built up, I believe it will cause every home adjacent to this dump, especially the lower-lying homes, to flood and to do more irreparable harm to our small black community. I mean, where will all this rainwater go if you approve this rezoning? Back into our yards again. I mean, to place multi-story, multi-buildings in the center of Narcoossee's only small, historically black community is appalling. It seems impractical to build these townhouses smack dab into the middle of our community. That's also wetlands and a former dump. From the photos Mr. Lamb presented at the Planning Commission meeting, I can see that our small historic black community no longer even existed. Okay, I imagine, and I always will love this Narcoossee community and this country. The sense of family unity and praising the Lord was instilled in us and has carried us throughout our lives. We have had at least 5 generations of my family that have lived in this historic community. I also believe that it was advised and suggested by the Planning Commission for Mr. Lamb and his company to do these tests on the property in question, as well as some of the current surrounding residents, which I believe Mr. Lamb stated in a virtual community meeting that this had not been done and that it would not be done until after rezoning had been approved, if at all. To place, oh, I read that. I believe at the in-person community meeting, several residents tried to talk to the owner, Mr. Elkins, who was in attendance and who had questions that he failed to converse with any of the residents who took their time to meet with him. I don't understand why he even requested to meet with the residents if he was not going to speak personally with them. There was no public utility water in this area until recently, so the residents had to, and some continue to use underground wells as their drinking, cooking, cleaning water, etc. Driving out the current homeowners via means of excessive development or higher property taxes to incorporate what Mr. Lamb and his company has envisioned as commercial properties with cafes, retail shops, etc. This is not what we want for our community. This is the type of gentrification, and we would like some assurances that this will not happen to this historic community. I plead to you all that you respect our pleas and deny rezoning of this small area. Let it remain residential, single family, and let us live our lives in peace and coexist with one another. Personally, I welcome growth in this area around our small community, but does it have to once again be at our expense? Most of the residents in this Black community, if not all, have either been born, raised, or lived most of their lives in this historic Black community. The majority of the residents are seniors over the age of 55. Our Praise and Worship Church is within walking distance. St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church of Narcoossee was established and has remained in this community for over 130 years. Please do not allow this to happen. And Commissioner Chowdhury, I'm not sure if I said your name correctly, but I understand one of the reasons you ran for commission seat was so you could help the Osceola County residents achieve the American dream. I commend you for that, and I thank you for that. What about those of us who have with determination and hard work, achieved this dream in this historic community? Are we at risk losing our dream? The bottom line is that we do not want multi-story, multi-complexes, and we certainly want this area to remain residential, single family only. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.